Welcome everyone to Azure Security Center in the Field, episode 32. Thanks again for subscribing to the Microsoft Security channel to receive notifications for this show. And if you did not, make sure to visit aka.ms/ASC in the field. Today we are going to talk about something that we recently released, and the developer behind this new capability is with us today. So I'd like to welcome Tal Cohen. Tal?
Hey Yuri, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, my friend. Very excited to talk about this new capability related to compliance. But before we jump into this, I'd like you to give a brief introduction about yourself, what you do for Microsoft, and about the team that you work for.
I'm Tal Cohen from ASC team in Israel. I've been a software engineer for the past 1.5 years, mostly working on the regulatory compliance feature for this period, and that's it.
Excellent. Tal, we released recently this workbook, and I would like you to understand, and I would like you to explain for our audience what this workbook is actually trying to resolve, right? Because we do have the compliance dashboard. So why are we releasing this workbook? What is the intent of the workbook?
Yes, so we made this workbook due to many customer feedback and requests. We wanted to give our customers the ability to track their compliance status over time per standard, and also help them investigate what made the changes in the compliance status, why the past control count changed over the past period, 7 days, 30 days. We also wanted to give them the ability to investigate why the changes occurred, and that's it.
Okay. And we released this workbook is already in GA or is a public preview?
It's a public preview.
Okay, so there is still chance for customers to give feedback about it.
Yes, of course.
There is anything that needs to be configured prior to load the workbook and actually visualize the data?
Yes, so you need to configure a continuous export to export regulatory compliance data to your own log analytic workspace. You must configure a snapshot and streaming as well to see the data in the report. And that's it, actually. You can start using the reports once you have the first snapshot.
Okay. And if I don't have this configure, and I just started configure right now, for example, let's say I'm not using the continuous export, the snapshot. Of course, once I configure this, I will only have data from that point moving forward, right? I'm not going to be able to see what it passed.
Yes. Only from the first snapshot.
Okay, so that's very important, folks. If you are not using the continuous export feature, and if you are not using the snapshot, you're not going to be able to see what occurred like 7 days ago or even 30 days ago, right? So just make sure that you understand that this workbook has a dependency on that feature, the continuous export feature. All right, so is it possible to customize the workbook in case customers want to do it?
Yes, so like many workbooks out there, you can edit the workbook itself. If you have a basic knowledge in KQL, you can also edit the KQL queries behind the workbook and make your own version of a compliance over time report.
Okay, that's good. Let's move on to the demo. I think you have some demonstration to do here, right?
Yes. Okay, so you can get to the workbook, compliance over time workbook with two options. You can choose workbooks in the side menu here and go to compliance over time. You can also do this from the regulatory compliance dashboard. go to the dashboard, and press the compliance overtime workbook. You can edit the workbooks from here though, so I will go back to the first option. Once you get to the workbook, you need to choose a log analytic workspace. Choose that. After that, you will need to choose a subscription to show the data for. So we'll choose a demo, and then you can choose your standards that you want to see the data for. So we'll choose the first view that we'll see is the compliance status over time per standard. For each standard, we'll see its past control, the percentage, and the difference from 7 days ago and 30 days ago. You can also hover on the bar itself and see how many are failing, skipped, or passed right now. On the right, you will see roughly the same data visualized by graph. The only difference is that the right graph is showing data from a longer period, more continuously, and the left table it's for the current status 7 days ago and 30 days ago. If we want to drill down a bit more, we can just click on the standard, and we can see our compliance status in the main control scope. Let's say that we want to investigate what made a change in the last 7 days for the HIPAA standard. We can show the decreasing in the past control percentage. So after we click on the standard, we can see the main control, and we can find here the control that gives us trouble. And if we want to understand better what made the change, we can scope a little further and click and drill down and see all the subcontrols of this main control, how many assessments are failing right now, how many assessments failed last week and last month. And if we drill down a little bit, we will find a subcontrol that had no failing assessment last week, but has failing assessment right now. So this is interesting, and we will want to understand why. So if we click on the subcontrol, we will see its recommendation list. This subcontrol has only one recommendation. We can see that currently it has 4 failing resources, but last week it has 0 failing resources. So we can go and understand we can understand further what happened by clicking again. This will give us a view of the failing resources and per subscription. We are only filtering on one subscription, so it has only it doesn't give us a lot of information. But this is the gist of it. Just a drill down dashboard to the standard main control, sub-control, recommendation, and then subscription.
Excellent. That's really good. That's really good capability. And can you? I'm not sure if you show, but when you initially do the loading of the workbook, you basically need to select the workspace and the subscription, right? That's all.
Yes, but you must have a workspace with regulatory compliance data, and also you need subscription with the regulatory compliance data.
All right, Tal. I think it was a great demonstration. Thanks very much for taking the time to show that. Do you have any final thoughts or recommendations for our customers around the usability of this workbook?
Yes, so we get a lot of feedbacks from customers that want to see not only 7 days and 30 days change, but customize their period. We don't have this capability right now, but as we talked about previously, you can edit a workbook. So if you edit the workbook itself, you can go to the queries and change the period in the query and customize it for your needs. I can show you how to do it right now. For instance, if you go to this query, you can just change the offset for the week to like 2 weeks. Run the query, and you will see data for 2 weeks ago. You won't see the change in the column name, but the data will be different.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So you can customize at any time. Pretty good.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tal. Appreciate again your time demonstrating this and showing the capability. Congratulations for the great work on the workbook.
Thank you, Yuri.
All right, everyone. That's a wrap for episode 32. Thank you very much for your audience. Again, make sure to subscribe to Microsoft Security channel, aka.ms/ASC in the field. See you again next time.